Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to witness one of the most epic fights you've ever seen. Ever. In manga history. Now, I did talk about this series yesterday, how I said that this is the most badass manga I've ever read, which is true. And in that video, which you should go watch it, by the way, I talk about Adam vs. Zeus was one of the greatest manga fights I've ever seen. But this fight is my second favorite. And that fight is Jack the Ripper versus Heracles. And I'm going to tell you why this fight is a masterpiece. When I finished this fight, Jack the Ripper became my favorite character in this series. And this is the best adaptation I have ever seen Jack the Ripper in manga/anime history. Like, this adaptation, Jack is the best. And I'll tell you why. That this fight is a masterpiece. And why Jack is the greatest character in this manga right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tolos. And today, we're going to talk about Jack the Ripper versus Heracles. And why it is a masterpiece. Cue the intro. The battle between Jack the Ripper and Heracles is literally a battle of bronze versus brains, because you know that Jack the Ripper cannot compete against the god of fortune himself, Heracles, in the physical combat. So you know that he has to use his brains. Now, this is literally justice versus evil. Heracles represents the pure justice of the world, while Jack the Ripper represents the darkness of the world. Heracles wants to fight that warrior like Adam and Lu Bu and Sasuke Kajiro. But instead, he had Jack the Ripper, who is more of a trickster than a real-life warrior, and this pissed off Heracles. While Sasuke Kajiro and Adam represents the goodness of humanity, helping children, saving animals, and etc., while Jack the Ripper, on the other hand, represents the darkness, the evil, the foul, disgusting side of humanity, who are capable of committing murders and destroying lives. And this is what makes this fight interesting. They could have made Jack the Ripper versus Loki because they're both kind of the same and have the same personality with tricks and killings. But instead they made Heracles versus Jack the Ripper instead, because Heracles, like I said, represents justice, while Jack represents darkness. This is really fucking epic in my opinion. But anyways, the battle literally begins while Jack's saying that his weapon was actually the giant scissors. So during the fight, you thought, okay, his weapon is these giant scissors, and Heracles shattered them. So he's just like, wait a minute. Yeah, it can't shatter. It's because Valkyries turn themselves into these weapons for humans, so they actually have a fighting chance against these gods. While Jack just straight says, that was a lie. So now the gods think he's a coward because he's running away, telling lies, doing tricks. But actually, it's strategy. Jack knows he can't fight Heracles on a one-on-one contest when it comes to physical combat. He has to use his brains. So he actually told Heracles that his actual weapon is his pouch, which he could pull out these little knives or anything that comes out of the pouch as a weapon. So now it's a game of cat and mouse. Jack's the mouse and Heracles the cat. So Jack is keeping Heracles at bay while tossing all these knives at him, and these are actually piercing Heracles' body. Because you know that Heracles cannot beat harm by any mortal weapons. But these knives are piercing his body. So now Heracles knows that Jack is kind of a threat. So Jack is keeping Heracles at bay, so now Heracles has to use his Nemean Lion ability to actually do some damage against Jack. So now Jack is on the defensive other than the offensive. So the whole time, the whole fight is Jack keeping Heracles at bay, but during the fight, Heracles realized that he needs to save Jack. He wants to save Jack's damnation. He wants to purify Jack, to make him, human. Because Heracles feels sorry for him. He's never experienced these such emotions like love and happiness. So the whole time he wants to save Jack. The whole point of this fight is basically saying, you should cheer for Heracles and not cheer for Jack. They made Heracles the hero of this fight, while they make Jack the Ripper the villain of this fight. So you know who you want to cheer for. And I thought this was a really cool idea that the author did, making Jack the villain of the story, because if you don't know who Jack the Ripper is, he's a fucking serial killer. You should know him by now. So now, things are in trouble. So Jack decided to climb up the Big Ben, and Heracles smashed Big Ben. If you don't know what Big Ben is, it's that giant clock tower in London. So Jack decided to toss the clock of Big Ben at Heracles. So Heracles said, alright, that's a man-made weapon, I'll just block on my arm. But actually, in reality, it cut his arm. So now you're just like, hold on, wait a minute. How the hell did that cut Heracles' arm off? How did that even work? That thing is too big from the pouch. So Jack said, that was also a lie. My real weapon is my gloves. So he basically told a lie upon another lie. You know that you're a fucking mastermind when Loki himself, the master of deception, the god of deception, couldn't even figure out what your strategy is. Even Loki could not even decide what is true and what is a lie. That's why Jack the Ripper is the smartest character I ever seen in anime/manga history. Jack is more smarter than Aizen from Bleach. Let that sink in your head. Jack is the master of strategies. So now he gave this badass speech saying, I can make a pebble shatter walls. I can make a mere clock become a god slayer. When I read that, I was like, oh, that was badass. So now Heracles knows Jack's true weapon. So anything that Jack touches becomes a divine weapon that can kill a god. So now Heracles realized anything that Jack touches can kill him. So now Jack decided to go on a head-to-head contest with Heracles. So they fought a little bit. Heracles punched Jack, so Jack retreated and touched the building. And Heracles decided to shatter the building, and Jack charged at him, and Heracles pushed him, hit him into the building, and Jack went through the window and the building came down, crushing Heracles. Now you thought that wouldn't hurt him, but actually in reality Jack touched the building, so now the building itself became a weapon. Jack is thinking strategies upon strategies to counter against Heracles' pure god strength. So they fought some more, and Jack the Ripper retreated into the air. Heracles jumped and hit Jack, and Jack got impaled. So Jack pulled the spike out of his body, and now the spike is a weapon. You don't honestly think that Jack should get up, but he gives up, but he constantly gets back up. Every time Heracles punches him or injure him, Jack constantly gets back up. He will not give up. So, now he has a weapon. He charged at Jack, and Well, he charged at Heracles, and Heracles punched Jack, and this really hurt because now Heracles is using the Hounds of Hades for him to consume his body. So now he's going to do some more damage. So Jack is thrown across London and shot against a building. And you thought, okay, it's over. Jack is completely done. He's over. But actually, you thought he was dead, but he's actually singing a song. He was singing London is burned. The London Bridge is falling down, falling down. He got back up, still singing. He did the most epic pose I ever seen in manga. He just flips his hair and points the spike against Heracles. So now he's charging Heracles. He's ready to fucking kill him. But instead, Jack the Ripper tossed the spike in front of Heracles, tossed it in the air. So you're thinking, did Jack just physically give up? But actually, he stabbed Heracles with his own gloves. You're just like, oh, there's no way. There's no way the gloves can impale him. Actually, it did. So, how can this glove impale Heracles? Let me tell you this. So, do you remember the moment I said that Jack got impaled? He actually wanted to get impaled. His whole strategy was to get Heracles up in the air so he can fall down and impale himself. So you're like, okay, so is the, spike the weapon? No. The real weapon was his blood. Now you remember, anything that the glove touches becomes a divine weapon that can kill a god. So now, he wipes the blood on his gloves. Yes, the thing that impaled Jack was not his gloves, but impaled Heracles, my bad. That impaled Heracles was actually Jack's blood. So you thought that this is the end. This is the end of the fight. While Heracles actually is getting ready to punch Jack to end this fight. And you're like, on the edge, and you see like, what the fuck is happening? Oh my god, I can't wait to see how it ends. But the way how it ends, instead of punching Jack, he embraces Jack. And says, I still love humans. And Jack finally witnessed the most beautiful color he ever seen. The color of love. For the first time ever, Jack felt loved from anyone. And this is what made this fight was incredible. It was honestly hard which one was better. Adam vs. Zeus or Jack vs. Heracles. In the end, Heracles disappeared. He died. And the winner was Jack the Ripper. And he looked up in the sky and he said this, I wonder what color I am right now. And he walked up, he picked his hat up and put on his head and said, I only have one wish. And that wish is that I can see you one more time. He was talking about Heracles. So, Jack the Ripper run against the God of Fortune. So you honestly think that the people should applaud because this fight was fucking epic. But actually, they booed him and tossed stuff at Jack. And what did the badass Jack the Ripper did? He picked up his hat and gave him a little bow. In the end, Jack was actually redeemed. He felt loved. Jack finally became a human being. And this is why this fight was a masterpiece. A fight between a serial killer against a god. And the serial killer finally became a human at the very end of the fight. This is why I said that this fight is a masterpiece. This is why. And it was a great ending. And if this gets animated, I cannot wait to see Jack the Ripper versus Heracles. And that's it for this video. And make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button to watch all the beautiful content that I provide. I got Red Dead funny moments, I got GTA funny, I got Dead by Day funny moments, so make sure you check that out. I also got top 10 lists, like top 10 anime characters, top 10 video game characters, so make sure you check that out as well. Also check out the last video I made about Record of Ragnarok and how I said that it's the most badass manga. Make sure you check that out as well. Also, do not forget to hit that notification bell. Every time I make a new video, you get a notification on your phone, computer, tablet, or whatever you have, saying, hey, Toast made a new video. And if you want to see more videos like this, when I talk about mangas, or specific fights in mangas, or specific chapters in mangas, let me know in the comment section below. Give this video a like. Because I actually had fun talking about this and the other video about this manga. So maybe I'll do more of these kind of videos. Actually, I'm going to make a playlist that says manga topics. Maybe. I am going to make a playlist for you guys if you want to see these kind of things. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Later.